the sky a streak of gray and a cheerful... A loop, a whirl, and a vertical climb, and once again you'll know it's time for the adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle and friends. Starring that supersonic speedster, Rocket J. Squirrel, with his fellow Bullwinkle the Moose, and a host of others.
Hurry, Bullwinkle! The show's about to start!
I'm coming as fast as I can.
Wait for the people!
Yay!
Now what are you doing?
Sign an autograph. The thief, John Thief.
But your name is Bullwinkle!
I know, but that's hard to spell.
Well, we're going back in time by quite a bit here. So we're going to 1959 Saturday morning cartoons. And yes, we are doing Rocky and Bullwinkle.
And Friends.
And Friends.
Which I just now learned was a thing.
Which you just learned. And as weird as it is, I remember watching this with my dad on Saturday mornings when it was in syndication. And apparently everything that I have looked up is saying I'm lying. There is no records of this being on when I was a kid and this being in syndication. So I don't know what channel I watched it on. I'm still going to say it was Fox because that's what George of the Jungle was on Fox in 1992. That one I found. This I have no idea. It could have been on Rocket Ship 7 for all I know. Then they did play old cartoons, but that was a Buffalo, New York show. So it is possible that this was on Rocket Ship 7. They played Popeye.
Never heard of it. Popeye heard of it.
Oh, okay. Well, no, Rocket. I forgot what years that came out, but it was on. That I do know. I think it may have been 91 to 93 or something like that. Yeah, and Tom Randall, the weatherman, was actually the host of it. So, and Tom Jones did Rocket Ship 7. I don't remember what year. It was probably in the 60s. So, Rocky and Bullwinkle it is, and I will be reviewing the pilot episode right after this. Apparently, they started at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Hey, it's Hasbro! Hasbro makes good. What's new, Hasbro?
Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head with their own cars and trailers. That's what's new. See, Mr. Potato Head has a car and...
What the hell is that?
There's a car and shopping trailer for his wife, Mrs. Potato Head. It's just fun to do and so easy. Like this. Take any fruit or vegetable. Just stick in eyes, then ears, and then the mouth. You can make the funniest looking people in the whole world. Potato Head people look different every time you make them. Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head with cars and trailers come in $1 and $2 sizes.
What else is new, Hasbro?
A vanity case with toy cosmetics and beautiful accessories and real-looking doctor and nurse kits.
This is not Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head I was thinking of.
It's fun to play with Hasbro.
Well, that was an interesting commercial. I did watch it. Apparently, I was not paying attention. Maybe I fell asleep because somebody got me up at a god-awful hour the last couple days. But apparently, these were real potatoes. I guess they didn't come out with the plastic Mr. Potato or Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head, but they had cars. So you put real potatoes and you dressed them up and you put them in these cars. And apparently there was a whole other vegetable set. So did the other vegetables just not take off? They just...
No, I said you could use any vegetable.
Well, but still, I thought they still showed a carrot in there, and I guess Mr. Carrot Head never took off, or Mr. Lettuce Head never took off either.
This is better than mine.
I just am. What happens when the food goes bad and they're driving them around in these cars and these kids have rotten fruit rotten vegetables or whatever potatoes are, and that horrible smell. And I think I know why they went to plastic. This is the only thing that I cheer about that went to plastic. So, I really don't like potatoes as it is, but Mr. Potato Head was kind of neat, and he was brought back in Toy Story. This commercial just kind of, yeah, it surprised me. I'm sorry. So I'm sorry if anybody else was a little confused by this, or if somebody that was born around this time writes me a sarcastic comment saying, "Yes, this is what they had back then." That is totally fine. I never looked into my Mr. Potato Head history, so I do apologize for that. I will now look for that book on eBay or Amazon and see if there actually is one. So that was interesting enough. So now going back to Rocky and Bullwinkle, this is actually a very interesting show. I did watch the pilot episode, I believe, on Friday when I got up at 8 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, so I was in and out of consciousness, and also the washer and dryer was on because that's when I do their laundry. So anyway, so this Bullwinkle was voiced by Bill Scott, and he also voiced George of the Jungle. And I already forgot the lady's name who voiced Rocky. Oh, there we go. June Foray. I would have put an N in the F part. So, and she was actually the voice of the one Lady Duck in DuckTales.
Nope.
In Doctor Strange Duck. I forgot if it was Mrs. Featherin or something like that.
Nope.
I'm trying to look her up because she was actually a voice in a lot of things. She actually lived up to 100 years old. Bill Scott did not even come close to that. Let me just see. Here we go. Yes, Mrs. Featherby. She was also Wheezy and Nina in Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Nope. And nope.
And she was also the voice in Mulan. She was the grandmother. So
Nope.
she has voiced several things, and of course the Rocky and Bullwinkle movie, I do believe. Oh, they remade it in 2000. Oh, I didn't need to see that. So, and then that is pretty much the only people that I'm going to mention who did the voices. They are the main people. Nobody else really did a whole lot of anything else from what I read, anyways. There was. Hold on. I have to go back to the cheat sheet because these people I'm not familiar with. Frank Welker was not a voice of Rocky and Bullwinkle. I know it's shocking, even though he probably wasn't even born yet. Okay, so Paul Frees did the Beatniks. No idea what that is. The Bullwinkle Show, obviously. The Last Unicorn. Oh, that's one of my favorites. And The War of the Worlds, the second radio reporter. Okay, so he did that. Okay, so yeah, stuff I really am not too. I know what War of the Worlds is, but I'm not really familiar with the second. Oh, yes, okay, so it might have been. I'm not sure if that was the radio show or not. I'd have to look into that again. So, uh, so these are the only three voices that I'm actually going to get into. I'm not sure who did Boris Badenoff and Natal for that matter. So, Rocky and Bullwinkle, this did air on Saturday mornings. I'm trying to remember what channel it was on. I believe it was ABC, because I know it was on a couple of them. It was on NBC and ABC. And of course, this is a animated cartoon with a moose who is Bullwinkle and Rocky is the squirrel. And yes, well, there are flying squirrels, and there is flying squirrels. They glide, and
That's not fine. That's following with style.
all right. Well, apparently, this is his name's Rocky, not Buzz Lightyear. So, and Rocky actually flies. So there are some funny skits in here. Obviously, Bullwinkle isn't really bright, and it shows. He manages to do some magic tricks that go wrong, but it made me laugh anyway. So I will just show the first clip. There's several storylines, so there's no reason to really get into a heavy story here. So I will just show the first clip in just a second.
Our story opens today at the Slick Observatory, where an international group of scientists, eggheads and double domes, were meeting to dedicate the new giant 1,000-inch telescope. The chairman, Sir Newton Fugg, was presiding.
Today we will prove once and for all that there can be no life on the moon.
Dr. Milton Nudnik, Egghead of the Year, was given the honor of the first peek.
What do you see?
I see 2 moon creatures.
Impossible!
The scientists rushed to the eyepiece, and incredibly, Nudnik was right.
Why, it's a moon moose!
And he's signaling us.
What does he say?
He says, here we come, ready or not.
Sure enough, a strange rocket ship had left the moon and was heading straight for the Earth. The word spread in a flash.
Extra, extra, moon men to invade Earth. President declares emergency.
Now hear this. This is Dorson Bells speaking. The moon rocket ship is nearing the Earth. This invasion is not a play. I repeat, not a play. Please feel free to panic.
And some people did panic. Stores closed, houses were shut up tight. Everywhere, panic reigned.
What's that?
So this is pretty funny writing right off the bat here. They are actually making fun of Orson Welles' wonderful radio broadcast that was War of the Worlds. And people actually thought that space creatures were invading Earth. And people did panic. And people did die for this. And right after he said that this is just a play, it's just a broadcast, it's make-believe, it was already chaos. So Rocky and Bullwinkle, the writers here, decided to make fun of that little incident. And so the writing is already very, very good. It's better than today's nonsense. So I did like how they looked on the moon, and there is Rocky and dopey Bullwinkle just kind of waving at that wonderful telescope there. And remember, we have not been on the moon yet. I did forget that this was 1959. So so that is kind of new. So that was a little bit different when I was actually watching this episode. I was like, oh yeah, that's right. We haven't been on the moon yet. And the villain's the female villain is Natasha. So I'm sorry that I got that wrong during the intro. But yes, it is Boris Badenoff, and they will be in this episode as well. So now I will show the next clip and see how they got the rocket fuel. How did they come up with it? Well, leave it to Bullwinkle to make a mistake and accidentally come up with this. So I will show that clip in just a second.
Little house in Frostbite Falls, Bullwinkle had been baking a quick-rising cake according to his grandmother's old recipe. But the first layer had risen a little faster than they'd expected. And the next thing they knew, the stove had been blown clear to the moon. Well, they had to get it back.
Sure, we still owe 2 payments on it.
And so the boys put together their version of a spaceship and used the second layer of that extraordinary cake to propel them to the moon.
And the third layer blasted us back.
That cake batter must be a revolutionary rocket fuel.
My boy, you must make more of that cake for your government.
Bullwinkle, you're going to be a famous scientist.
Well, after all, I am a graduate of MIT, the Moose Institute of Toe Dancing.
Unfortunately, our boys wouldn't have been so happy had they overheard 2 notorious spies.
You hear, Natasha? Forget the formula and then kill the moose or vice versa.
And so a short while later, the new director of guided missiles was interrupted by...
So this is how he came up with the rocket fuel. He pretty much would make Gordon Ramsay mad, since he pretty much blew up his kitchen, and the stove went all the way up to the moon. So then they ended up building their own rocket ship, and now apparently they have to give this recipe to the U.S. government. And they will just end up stealing it. Well, they will, but obviously the Russian spies want to do it first. So now apparently at the end of this, they say you have to wait to find out what happened. So we will see if that's going to be at the end of at the end of the skits, or if it will be on next week's actual Rocky and Bullwinkle. I don't know if they saved it for the week after, but we will find out. So now I will show the next clip here where Bullwinkle attempts to do poetry. So I will show that clip in just a second.
Today's lesson is mighty important, remember?
Bullwinkle is
Not that lesson. This lesson.
And now for a more serious note on our program, we bring you the poetry corner.
Hello there, poetry lovers. Today's poem is the well-known favorite, The Swing by Robert Louis Stevenson. How do you like to go up in a swing? Up in the air so blue. Oh, I do think it the pleasantest thing. every child can do. Up in the air and over the wall, till I can see so wide. Rivers and trees and cattle and all, over the countryside. Till I look down on the garden green, down on the roof so brown. Up in the air I go flying again, up in the air and down. How do you like to go up in a swing? Up in the air so blue? Oh, I do think it the pleasantest thing ever a child can do.
Well, that was an interesting little poem there. So it looks like that he ended up getting a hurt bottom by the end of this. So he seemed to enjoy himself on the swing until he got bucked off of it. And then, of course, he goes to a barn, he gets shot at, and then it looks like he got a hurt rump. So, obviously, at the end of this, as usual, he got injured. I did like the beginning of this, too, where it said that he was a dope. So, so now we get to see Bullwinkle as a musician, as a magician. Sorry about that. I almost said musician. Well, he does do that from time to time as well. But now we get to see him actually do a magic trick. And if Bullwinkle ever went to Vegas, that might actually give me a reason to go. So I will show that clip in just a second.
Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat. Ha! See? Nothing up my sleeve. Presto! Wrong hat.
And now
Well, so this is Bullwinkle doing his little magic trick here. So I'm actually pretty impressed with this. Now, did he pull a rabbit out of his hat? No, but he pulled out a whole bear. So, sorry, a bear's head. It's still pretty impressive. So I would rather see that than actually see him pull out a rabbit. And this is one of my favorite parts to the show. This is the part I couldn't wait to see because he pulls out a different thing each time. And a spoiler alert, he actually pulled out Rocky once. So so now I will show they do conclude the whole rocket ship episode. So we will see the end of that one in just a second.
14 sticks of dynamite, wired to go off in 30 seconds.
I plan to leave in a couple of minutes.
Don't worry, darling. You will.
But as Natasha tried to open the door, she found it had been locked behind her.
The key. Where's the cotton-picking key?
Oh, the key. Well, I got it here somewhere.
15 seconds, 70, 60.
Let's see. Here's the key to my locker at PS84.
Hurry up, please.
Key to my hope chest. It's little because I'm kind of hopeless.
I must go quickly.
I'm doing my level best.
12, 11, 10,
3 trunk keys, in case I ever grow a trunk.
Time is running out.
8, 7, 6.
hey, that one belongs to the Frostbite Falls Volunteer Fire Department.
Yeah, wonder how they're starting the engine these days.
Give me my package. You fool.
3, 2, 1. That's what I like.
So this part here was pretty funny. So good old Natasha. Somehow the door locked behind her. And Bullwinkle had every key in the book. He probably had the White House's key on there, the Capitol building. But apparently there was a very important key on there. The fire department. I forgot what town they're in Minnesota, but they have the engine key. So there's some very angry volunteer firemen that aren't going to be able to put out any fires because of good old Bullwinkle's mistake, but they live in Minnesota. The good news is they got plenty of lakes. They got 10,000 lakes, and you can also put the fire out with snow. So so now, obviously, Natasha's having some issues here. So the bomb does get tossed out, and poor Boris there gets blown to smithereens. So,
No, he doesn't. He just got up in the air and falls to the ground.
well, yes, but I'm sure he had some internal injuries and possibly a broken leg as well. So obviously, Boris and Natasha here, this is how their plans seem to not go well because they're dealing with good old Bullwinkle. So his mistakes definitely come in handy. So now we get to see the final clip, and this will be a nice little continuation here. So what will happen with Bullwinkle and Rocky when they are about to eat a very delicious lunch. So hopefully Gordon Ramsay prepared it for them. So I will show that clip in just a second.
Will it make a good rocket fuel, Bullwinkle?
Well, I don't know, but it'll sure make a dandy lunch.
The boys wouldn't have been so happy if they had chanced to look behind them, for at that moment, a scaly green hand was raising a strange weapon and pointing it right at their heads. Don't miss the next exciting episode, Bullseye Bullwinkle or Destination Moose.
Well, it looks as if our time has just about run out.
Just enough left to tell him who the sponsor was.
You got the credits, Bullwinkle?
All on this itty bitty card. Ooh.
So this is the final clip here, so it does end on a nice little cliffhanger. I don't know many cartoons that actually did that back then. I know Batman the Animated Series did it, but that one kind of made sense. That was
Batman?
yeah, that was Batman. That's yeah. So, but I guess Rocky and Bullwinkle did it. So I guess this did sort of, obviously, it really did kind of keep your interest. I mean, later on, cartoons did it a little bit more. I'm sure The Simpsons did it a couple times, but that is, of course, early or late '80s, early '90s. So I don't remember a lot of older cartoons doing it, but they may have, and I just didn't pick up on it. So this was so like I said, this was the pilot episode of Rocky and Bullwinkle. Obviously, it was very funny. I did like the Rocky and Bullwinkle skits. I didn't care so much for the and friends part. So that is, I guess it's kind of just like, I guess it is kind of like the Garfield and Friends. People like Garfield and Odie and John, but they didn't really care much for the farm animals. I guess it is the same kind of deal. So in this, they did have Mr. Peabody the dog, and they had some others, but I didn't show that. I just wanted to show the Rocky and Bullwinkle skits. So this must have been a very entertaining Saturday morning cartoon when it was the 1950s, and yes, wrestling was on. On Saturday morning in those days as well, probably right after the Saturday morning cartoons. So anyway, so I will be obviously giving this a grade and a recommendation if I found this entertaining. I obviously did, and if I had to grade this, I would probably. Are you kidding me?
Fine,
A barely watchable. I think it deserves a little bit more than that.
fine.
Oh my god!
Oh wait, no, that'll be disease, and then
So yeah, she's giving it an F for fantastic. So I'm actually going to give it a B minus, and that's because of the end friends are pretty uninteresting, but I do love the Rocky and Bullwinkle skits. I do find them very entertaining. The writing is very, very good. I recommend this? Yeah, I actually do. Would kids understand some of the jokes today? I would hope so. But I don't really know. I know a couple of my friends would not. It would actually go over their heads for the most part. But the jokes I thought were very, very clever, especially at the whole time with the War of the Worlds, and then there was other things with the Russians going on with Sputnik. So this is definitely worth a watch. It's definitely better than today's cartoons. So please comment below. Did this bring back any memories, or are you saying, why are you doing this? So please comment below. Subscribe if you want, and I do want to thank my subscribers, my new ones, and my existing for watching and subscribing as well. So we do appreciate it. So thank you. And thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.